Good morning, friends. It's patio season, and today we have a fun DIY project to do together. If you've been around for a while, you would remember our patio makeover several years ago. We went all out, including painting the house and the shed. All the effort was well worth it because we have enjoyed our patio every year so much more. We've hosted barbecues, casual get-togethers, and even a shower on this patio. Every season since the big makeover, we have done some new DIY project to continue improving the function and comfort of our patio. This season, my focus is on better seating. While we have really enjoyed these folding chairs, we've had them for 12 years or more, and I'm ready for something a little more substantial and stylish. These beautiful woven chairs from Pinterest caught my eye, and I knew I wanted to replicate them in some way, on a budget, of course. I liked the natural woven material, the high back, and of course, the pattern mixing. I turned to Facebook Marketplace and found a set of 4 that had very similar lines to my inspiration pictures. The woman was selling them for $150, which was extremely fair. If you're looking at patio furniture, you would know. I just love the high curved back, the natural woven materials. I even love the curve on the armrest. The chairs were in great overall condition. The seats were stained and dirty, and one of the bases had some damage which I knew Matt could repair. Okay, it's makeover time. Matt gets started by removing the base. The chairs have to be disassembled so that I can recover the cushions. The bases can be repaired and repainted. Plus, we've decided that for the longevity of the chairs, it would be a good idea to power wash and then reseal the woven material. While Matt got started on the chairs, I went to Joann's to look for fabric. I had heard that the store was closing, so I was hoping for a good deal. There were so many choices, and there was a good sale running. Since the chairs will stay under the patio and be protected from the elements, I really wasn't worried about choosing a specific outdoor fabric, and this gave me a lot more possibilities. This is the first combo that drew my eye. I knew that the blues and greens would go with the color palette on the back porch, but as I looked at it, it just seemed a bit too beachy, and you know me, I just love the English country house style. So this second combination was much more appealing. I took the cues from the inspiration pictures and went with a floral and a stripe for my pattern mixing. Now to get started, here are the dirty, stained seats. They may not look good, but they sure are comfortable. The very first step was to remove the lining, which I decided to save and reuse. I loosened the staples with a small knife and then popped them out with a screwdriver. With the backing removed, I could get a good idea of how the original canvas fabric was attached. It was very well stapled on, so I decided right then that instead of spending hours pulling out a million staples, I would just recover over it and staple in a little bit deeper. The next step was to find the center front and center back on the seat, and then to line up the middle stripe of the fabric. I made a mark with a pin on the top and bottom of the wood part of the seat, and then stapled the center stripe that I wanted to go with at the top and the bottom. This would keep the pattern in place as I tightened and worked on stapling the rest of it down. At this point, the only thing I've done in the world of reupholstery is to put a needlepoint piece of fabric over an occasional chair and staple it down. So this is just a little bit more complicated, a little bit more like upholstery, which, by the way, I am fascinated with and would love to learn more. I begin working on the top and staple from the center outward, flipping it, making sure that it's smooth, and repeating that step on all 4 sides, continuing to check that it's smooth and straight, and leaving the corners loose so that I can do those last. The corners were the trickiest part, and you can definitely see an improvement from the first seat cushion to the last one. Once I was satisfied with how the pleats were going to lay, I would staple up to them as close as I could, then fold them over and staple them, the actual pleat. The next step was to trim off the excess fabric and to add any more staples where an area looked like it needed extra reinforcement. Do you ever get into your head sometimes that, oh, this would be such a fun project, it looks like it would be pretty easy? Then you get right up to it and you procrastinate because you've never done it before and you're not sure how it's going to turn out, especially if you're going to publish it online. But then, once you get into it, it does turn out and you have so much fun and you're so excited that you learned something new. Now that the seat is recovered, the last step is to reattach the backing. This was simple to put back in place and made the whole project look so polished. 1 down, 3 to go. While I was busy shopping for fabric and then recovering the seats, Matt was busy washing the bases and power washing the woven part on the body of the chairs. Once the chairs were good and dry, Matt sprayed them with a bleach solution to kill any mildew and to prepare for the sealant. To repair the damaged chair base, he loosened the leg, filled it with wood glue, and then clamped it overnight and let it dry. I don't think either one of us really realized how much this project would actually require. It took forever to get these finished. With the magic of editing, you get to watch the whole process in, about 15 minutes or so. But I actually bought these chairs last year and we had to work with all of the snowstorms and now all of the rain to get this project finished. And it has been in the works since February. Here you see Matt spackling the holes in preparation to paint the bases. We went with a light paint color to give a fresh, bright look to the chairs. Then it was time to seal the chairs. We went with a Prolux clear satin polyurethane spray. Along with recovering the seats, I also wanted to add a back cushion, and here I'm trying out a couple of different options for size. This will also give me the opportunity for pattern mixing. After my trip to Joann's, I realized I had forgotten to buy zippers. So this time I went to the thrift store. This pair of down-filled Ralph Lauren pillows were $5 each. So not only do I get a couple of really nice zippers, but I have some great inserts as well. Here is the beautiful linen floral fabric I have for the chair cushions. And I started, as you can see, centering the motif and cutting out the pattern here, and realized I actually don't have enough. I could get 1, 2, 3, 4 more complete panels. So that would give us 1, 2, 3 pillows with a matching front and back. But I'm thinking from these large corners here and up here, maybe we could patch the backs and pull it all together because I have no more fabric. This is what we have, and I really want to work with it and see what we can do. So let's get started cutting out the rest of the panels. To find the center of each motif, I simply take my measured square and place it on top, and then carefully tweak it until it disappears into the fabric. Then I use it as a template for cutting. I like really plumptious pillows, so I have chosen to cut my square 2 inches smaller in width and length than the insert that I'll be using at the end. After cutting as many fronts as possible, I am now piecing the backs with the largest remaining scraps. Once they're sewn together, I finger press the seam to one side, then from the top I stitch the seam in place. This is called a felled seam, and it's just a bit more tailored. Once both backs were pieced, I used one of the front panels as a template to cut out the back to the proper size. Piecing the backs did take a little extra time and effort, but it was worth it. They turned out just fine. From another pair of thrifted pillow covers, I wanted to use this piping. It matched the flowers in my fabric perfectly. It was a bit too large, so I trimmed down the edge and then began pinning along the side. I have left a little bit of the tail hanging down, as that will go into the seam allowance. Probably the hardest part of attaching this is getting a good curve around the corners. The piping was rather stiff, so I put some notches into the edge to allow ease. Now to attach the piping to the front panel of the pillow. This is slow going, and I do remove the pin before I sew. In each corner, I did have to go back and cut more notches so that the piping would go around those corners. And here's the hardest part, getting over 2 widths of piping. I did actually have to lift my presser foot entirely and roll the machine over by hand, just so that I didn't break my needle. Okay, we're getting close. We will need to add the zipper and then put the 2 pieces together and stuff our pillow. I begin by leaving a little bit of the tape hanging off the edge, and then with the zipper facing the right side of the fabric, I pin above and below the teeth. This helps to ensure that I'm not going to sew into the teeth when I'm attaching the zipper. To attach the zipper, I found it easier to sew with the zipper closed. That way the edges weren't curling up and I could better see what I was doing. Okay, I've got the zipper attached to one side. I need to add a little piece of fabric to attach to the other side. Then we will trim the whole thing down to the proper size to match the front panel. Because we had to piece the backs together, there have been a couple of extra steps. Normally this would be a bit simpler. Here is what the zipper looks like, and after a good press, I lay the front panel on top, make sure everything is smooth, and then trim the back to fit. Here's a quick tip that will save you a headache. Before you trim that zipper tape, be sure to tuck the zipper head down inside. Last step, let's sew these 2 pieces together. If you love creating a home, then I would suggest of all the DIY skills you could learn, sewing is a game changer. Had I ordered these custom pillows made brand new, they would have turned out better, but they also would have cost hundreds of dollars. Here's the moment of truth. Now to stuff my feather and down pillow insert into these pillow covers. I am so excited. Some of the pillow and down inserts that I find do come from the thrift store. For this specific project, I did order them from Amazon and I was pleased with the quality. As you can see here, I really do like a plumptious pillow, so it's a little bit of a struggle to make sure everything gets inside that cover. But it's not only firm, holds its shape well, but it's still very comfy. While I was putting the finishing touches on the throw pillows, Matt reassembles the chairs, and as you can see, it is pouring down rain. I have so appreciated all of his help through this project. Without him, these would still not be done. And for the sake of getting this video out to you, I'm only finishing 2 pillows, and the rest will come when they come. What kind of deals are you finding on Marketplace? What kind of makeovers are you working on in your home? I would love to hear what's going on in your house down in the comment box. After many months of work, we are thrilled to be finally sharing our chairs with you. These were worth the effort. They have added the substance and style I was hoping for in our patio seating, along with being comfortable and budget friendly. Friend, I hope this project has inspired you to try something out off of Marketplace and to learn how to sew. Happy patio season, and until next time, I've got a couple of pillows to go make. Take care.